Hey guys, GirlGotGame here, and we are back with more of The Letter. And we are just going to hop into this today because we have a lot of skipping to do. Well, someone's excited. Screaming for joy, I believe Takako is. Or just Ghost Lady in general. Never know which side of the Ghost Lady you're actually getting, if it's Takako or Charlotte or who all. So yes, we are...
I eat other things too.
Sorry, Bella. We are going through, and we are going to have Bella stay alive this time, with everyone else being dead for a change. So that's the plan. So we're going to keep our first girl here alive, and she's going to be stuck with Luke at the end, which is kind of unfortunate for her, all things considered. I won't subject her to that horror just yet. So there's probably going to be a lot of stuff that we've seen up to this point. But this time Bella's going to be around for like all the deaths of her friends, and we'll get to see her reactions to that. And if there's like long swaths where it's just a whole lot of nothing, I may just fade out to black and bring you back in when something actually changes. Like the entire first chapter should basically be the same. I'm going to keep her affection up with people for the most part, except for this, because I need to make sure Hanna dies in the next chapter, and that's kind of an important choice for that. Need to make sure Hanna sees the letter. Hanna, I don't know what, I guess because that triggers Luke.
You keep asking me about my work, yet you haven't said a single word about yours.
Okay, now that I'm not interrupted. That triggers Luke flirting with Bella, which lowers the affection. Go figure. I'm going to stay for the movie. I'm also going to hang out with Ashton quite a bit in this one.
I'll think about it, but if ever, I'd like to give talking to Andrew a try.
Because that'll just make the heartbreak of his death that much more worse. We'll have a nice love confession and stuff, and then he'll die. Because, you know, why not be cruel about this in all the ways possible? So that's the plan. Let's see. Try and clear these as we go, just in the off chance there's new stuff later.
Okay, let me do that again.
Doop. Gotta try and be on maybe an even keel with Becca later before she dies, right? Gotta try anyway. Alright, Ash, we're gonna hang out. You and me. Okay. Now you're trying to help. Get that affection up for the heartbreak later. That's the key. That's the ticket. And I think it's You're Not Bad after all. Get that smooch. Yeah. Yes. It's been a while since we did the whole smoochy smooch. But it is a very important option indeed. For sadness later. Almost did talk about our cat.
I'm just curious about...
Not that Marianne's gonna be alive later, but still. You don't want the dead to think badly of you, as evidenced by what we've seen so far of our ghost lady. Right? Okay, there she is. Alright. Step 1 complete in our quest. Bella is alive now. Now we're on to Hanna. Our lovely ray of sunshine. Okay, everything's cleared now. Remain silent. Gotta get all that negative affection with Luke, darling.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you.
Okay. We can be somewhat friendly with Marianne. I am going to pick one different option in Hanna's route. I think where she was asking Marianne to be quiet. Yeah, this one. I asked for her silence last time, so I'm going to unlock another node here by threatening her instead. We haven't seen this before. Well, I'm not going to let Marianne do so, no. She isn't going to talk about this, ever. I take in a deep breath. I have always been the matronly of Luke and I, and many have seen my dear, darling husband get angry before. But there will be repercussions if I am angered. People often forget that.
You know, I can make life very difficult for you if you speak a word of this.
Oh, that's stink eye! At my little declaration, I am met with a stony look from the other woman.
I won't speak a word, Mrs. Wright.
Won't you? How would I know? What guarantee do I have?
This is actually very reminiscent of Takako and Charlotte. Not only just because the two those characters look like each other. Charlotte looks like Hanna and Takako looks like Marianne, but just the whole... I can be very angry, just so you know.
I have signed a document, Mrs. Wright, saying that I will honor your confidentiality as a client. It does not speak only about the design of your home, but also about what I may hear or learn during my time here about you as my client. It's all on paper. There is no need for threats, Mrs. Wright.
I don't trust you.
Damn.
But I suppose that I will have to make do with that.
It's in the contract.
She says it with a tone of finality, like as if it answered every little problem. In the contract. Marriage is a contract, is it not? A contract where one spouse has responsibility and obligations towards the other. A contract wherein two people enter a monogamous relationship as overseen by the law and, in certain cases, by the church. But if that sacred contract, which has stayed through the test of time, can be broken, how am I to trust any other? The door to the parlor opens, cutting through the tension in the air like a knife.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
I give him nothing but a small nod.
If you dare tell anyone about what you just heard, well, I'll make sure you regret it, Annie darling.
Annie darling? Dang, Hanna.
Now, if you can excuse me.
Look at Johannes' face like, oh. Standing up and walking out, I hear no reply from her. Neither do I bother to answer the questioning look the butler gives. Alright. Well. Now that I'm in such a good mood. She divulged too much. An interview with Luxury Living. That is today, isn't it? Oh yes. People had caught wind of our new mansion the very moment we left the open house. Luke had boasted he could acquire the property in no time and allowed a photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today. Well, there were complications, and it took longer than it usually does for us. Right now I am not in the mood for any interview, but I have no other choice, do I? Nope, so here's some happy music. Whatever quarrel I had with Marianne, Luke, or anyone else is left forgotten as I put on a cordial face.
Miss Wright, yeah? Hi, Zachary Steele here from Luxury Living, ma'am.
Hey, Zach. Good to see you. Sorry I'm killing you again. I do feel badly about that, I promise. I will be nice to you.
I'll stop if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie.
I can at least do that much for you. Okay. I need to say I was with Zachary.
I was talking with Zachary, the photographer for Luxury Living.
Okay. Don't open the hatch yet. It's almost time, but not quite. I don't know what that's going to lead to. All I know is it leads to a third ending. Sure.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it.
Now that I threatened you, I'll be nice to you. I'm surprised that didn't change anything with her after the fact. Okay. Well, things should be going down. There it is. Go get him, Hanna. Unfortunately, we're gonna get got. And here it goes. Welp. Oh yeah, memory fragments. I don't know if we're gonna unlock any more memory fragments as we go through this, but we will see. At least Bella's back in the picture for right now. It's gonna be a weird combination of endings that I've done up to this point. But we shall see what we shall see. There's Zachary. Okay. Tell her the truth. Just so Bella can miss all her friends properly. As you do. When you really want to dig the knife into your soul for bad endings.
I don't know about you two, but I think you guys should really stay.
Okay. Everyone, enjoy your ham. The boy worked hard on that ham. Least you can do is appreciate it. Okay, I think I'm going to show the photos to Ashton. Because there's some pictures, there's some pictures. There's some options on this that I'd never picked when doing all the good end stuff. So, I'm going to pick this one. I don't think we've done this before.
You do realize you're the one who started it.
Yep.
Yeah, well, your sister tried to poison me with her cooking.
Rude.
Like you can cook better.
My cooking has never killed people.
Your brand of cooking mostly involves throwing things into a pot and hoping it never explodes.
I'm never going to live that one down, am I?
It was in the news.
Oh no.
Did you know Nana and Gran called me that night just to check if you're still alive?
And they were genuinely concerned. They've always been. In some unspoken agreement, my grandparents has adopted him into the family. A nice gesture, and I don't think he minds it at all. He'd even ask about them from time to time, check on their well-being. I think part of him misses his own family, the one he'll never get back, and though he won't say it out loud, he appreciates having one thing close to it. Makes him feel less alone. He does appreciate it. We read that in his inner thoughts last time. Who won't? And yet...
You should drop by sometime. Nana's request. She wants to see whether that skinny boy has somehow gained some muscle.
I'll see what I can do.
Sometimes he neglects the more important things.
Ash?
Some other time, Zach. Things are a bit hectic at the moment.
Even for just a day? Psh, come on, Ash.
You saw how things are at the precinct. Even Benjamin's at his wit's end.
He is quick to avoid my eyes, swiftly turning his attention back on his plate. The food, however, remains uneaten. He's put up a wall again. I can't remember the last time he did that, but watching it happen in front of me is disconcerting. It ain't an excuse. I know that. His job is never as easy as those television shows often imply. Lots of bureaucracy and red tape involved. If he's lucky, they'll find an easy lead, close a case after several months of no sleep and pure hard work. But most of the time, it's just one pile of reports after the next, one frustration after another. I just wish he'd stop focusing on it too much and see what he's missing out on for once.
You really can't make time for it?
I can't just leave this case for now. Sorry.
His change in tone is subtle, but his aggravation over the matter hangs completely palpable in the air.
Still no closer?
The opposite, actually. There's been some slip-ups here and there. Careless mistakes, and let's just say I'm waiting for him to make another one. What about you? How are things on your end?
All piled up on top of the other. But I can manage. Still recovering from the expenses for the movie, so the surge in new projects helps. And well, there's this one thing.
Okay. I don't think I've done this one either, where he's accusing him and Hanna of being something. Okay, lots of negative. I'll just see if I can skip. No, okay. Of all the things I said, my connection to the Wrights is the first thing he points out. As much as I want to keep my own annoyance at bay, I can't stop it from seeping into my voice.
That's completely beside the point here, Ash.
I warned you, Zach.
I get it, all right? But you can't just expect me to turn it down after I made a commitment to a client. I've got to put food on my table.
I didn't say you shouldn't, but you should not be messing with them.
I wasn't messing with them.
And this isn't?
He waves the photos in front of me before dropping the pile on the table with a loud smack. I don't need to look to know we've already attracted some attention from the lunchtime crowd. Besides, turning away from him feels almost the same as admitting he's right. There are things more important than his damn case right now. I wish he'd see that.
It was a job, and that ain't how these photos were intended to come out. You think I'd go out of my way just to edit something like this? There's something weird going on here.
And you think Luke Wright will see it that way? You think the Wright missus will find it amusing?
I did not do this for my amusement, Ash. People's lives might be at stake here.
If you understood that in the first place, we wouldn't be having this stupid talk. Luke fucking Wright is a dangerous man, Zach. Keep hanging around them and you'll find yourself burnt to a crisp in your apartment or floating down a river 3 days later.
Or both.
This case is...
Will you stop talking about the damn case for once and just listen to me? Why do you think Isabella's...
Don't you dare bring her into this. We're talking about you and this stupid...
Oh, of course you don't want to talk about it. Because you're fucking afraid there's some damn truth to what she's saying now that there's two of us.
Ooh, got him. Every expression drains from his face as soon as the words are out of my mouth. They've hit their mark. Each utterance scathes, sharp with nothing but anger and the truth. Yet they are also things I won't typically say out loud in good company, and rather ease people into it before letting it fall. Almost immediately, a wave of regret washes over me.
Ash, dude, that ain't what I meant to...
You said enough, Zach.
Without another word, he stands, his chair scraping loudly against the floor, all while my brain races to find something to fix this. Ours ain't a fragile friendship by any means. I like to think we've gone past the stage when we find everything the other says insulting. But there are times when letters and phrases alone can cut deeper than any blade. Mine might even leave a scar. He doesn't let me, however. Instead, he sets a card in front of me. The name is familiar, but amidst the cloud of remorse swirling inside my head, I can't bring myself to recall where I've seen it.
You shouldn't be running blind. Call this guy. He'll be less inclined to shout at you. Might even talk some sense into you.
Okay, good chat. He refused to believe his friend. Alright. Well, we'll go talk to the prof then. Okay, well, got to see a couple of new things. Hi, Kylie. Sorry I wasn't able to save you last time still. Let's see. That's done, and that's done. Despite things we've yet to straighten out before it blows up in our faces. Having something normal play out in front of me, no matter how childish their antics can get, I can't bring myself to muster even a tidbit of it. Alright.
If this has something to do with the other day, I really am sorry about that. It was rude, and I didn't mean for it to come out that way.
Aww. A short but tense pause follows. They're both stalling. Under normal circumstances, I'd wait. With these two, the more you force it, the more they'll clamp down on it. It is Ashton who first breaks it.
No, don't apologize. I should have listened.
Aww. Friends? Before the end?
How is everything with you lately, Zach?
Hold on, Ash. Both of you. Did I just hear you say that? Is this why Isabella's here? Has something happened?
What's going on? Talk to me.
It ain't too late. We could still fix this. There's 3 of us here.
I don't know if I can fix things with Ash before I die, but... I really did a number on the relationship there at the end. Yikes. I'm sorry, my Holmes. I failed you. Well, it's time. Looking into it again. Sorry, Ashton. I'm doomed. What a way to go. Alright. Well, we've sped through quite a bit. So there's some different options I can pick here with Marianne to unlock some things. I actually made notes of this to try and unlock some different things this time around, so we'll see how successful I am. So we're gonna go through with
Nothing.
this.
Never mind.
That's a big negatory. Alright. At least that's over and done with. Yeah, it's when we go and meet with the Wrights at their house. Or flat, or condo, or whatever it is. So there's some different options there that we haven't seen before. I'm gonna try them out. Most likely just a couple of dialogue changes, but still. Okay. Oh, I forgot to check the profiles. Where is that? Clear that. There we go. I need to do... What do I need to do here? Oh, of course I didn't write this one down. Check it out, I think, is what I need to do for the next part. Yeah, there he is. So it's already changed to something new. Did he, like, sneak up on you? It just had to be him. As if I had been burned, I pushed him away from me with a deep scowl on my face. Even his slightest touch makes me sick. Huh. And that smug smile on his face makes me want to come in contact with him, if only to break his nose with my fist.
Is that any way to say hello to a good friend?
We aren't friends. Let's get that straight first off, Mr. Wright. Secondly, you're a married man, so that thing that happened shouldn't have happened.
Oh, come on. Don't tell me it wasn't even a little fun. A bit of a romp never hurt anybody.
Well, it got negative affection with you, so that's a lie.
No, it wasn't fun, and we shouldn't have done it. But since we did, let's pretend it didn't happen and never speak of it again.
I was drunk and had no self-control. Don't I get a free pass?
No. I really can't believe this guy. The worst. I am going to pick the top option here, but we'll go through this again and do the other one, because I haven't done either of these having slept with him. Work my way back up. I want nothing more than to punch the fucker and show him what for, but I had to remind myself to stay calm. No matter what I feel for this man, no matter how much I want to cuss him out and spew every profanity in the book and then some, he is still my client. I don't imagine that knocking the block off one of the more influential persons of high society would go well with the rest of my usual clientele.
It doesn't matter. I have work to do. I'm here to do my job. And if Whiskey has any ounce of sense in him, he'll know not to bring up this matter.
He must have some sense, right?
Or else what? I can't take that statement seriously without one of those.
Apparently not.
Whiskey will know not to bring the matter up. Or else he'll get what's coming to him.
No, still not convinced. You tried, I suppose. Plus points for that.
I did get plus points. He didn't lie. About that, at least. A very spooked Marianne accidentally bumped into Luke Wright. Furious over his blatant dishonesty during their first encounter, she warned him not to mention what happened that night. Luke simply ignored her. Okay, I think this we can do whatever. Where am I in the stream of time? Okay, that's fine. Hanna's dead anyway. She's not gonna remember any of this. Luke, on the other hand, is very much gonna be alive until he maybe dies. I don't know what's gonna happen with him and Bella being together, to be honest. I need to check the first floor. Yeah, because I need to have the mirror go down to the cellar this time. That's right.
You must have been quite the pair, Mrs. Wright.
There we go. I've done both of those options before. It's just mainly to get the mirror to go down. Because then we're going to break the mirror and probably use a shard from the mirror instead of a shard from a bottle to cut our neck off. Probably. That's what I'm picturing. And I guess that's enough of a variation. And we'll just see what happens after that. Okay, so she's threatened us this time, so we're getting a slightly different scene here. I will never pretend that I'll fully understand what they're going through.
You know, I can make life very difficult for you if you speak a word of this.
I won't speak a word, Mrs. Wright.
But I understand a threat when I hear one.
Won't you? How would I know? What guarantee do I have?
Though I work for them, that doesn't mean I belong to them. I'm not the sort who gives my mind, body, or soul to get rich. Only my hard work would be equivalent to that. And I sure as well be damned if I just bow down to intimidation tactics of spoiled princesses. Fortunately for her, I'm on duty.
It's in the contract.
She doesn't look tense, and I hope that the same can be said of me. But the tension is so thick and palpable in the air, it's only a matter of time before one of us wavers. The door to the parlor opens, cutting through the silence in the air like a knife.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
Even then, we're both rooted to the spot. Until she gives in first and looks away with a huff.
If you dare tell anyone about what you just heard, well, I'll make sure you regret it, Annie darling. Now, if you can excuse me.
I remain stoic, even as she leaves, before making an exit myself soon after. Alright, good talk.
Hey, are you alright there, Whiskey? You're looking like you need a serious drink.
Okay. Everything's fine. We're back to, like, baseline with Luke, so it's all good. Okay, this should be different this time. I'm gonna choose to stay with my girl, Lorraine. I want to stay. I really do want to stay. With her. I'm getting tired of pretending, of lying to myself. And the fact that I'm admitting this to myself now of all times only brings to light how Lorraine was right about me all along. I should have listened to her.
But, Lorraine, you're dead. How can we even stay together?
Oh, there's such a simple way.
I know. And it's your fault, isn't it? You tore us apart, but now you can put us back together again.
And now that I have the choice to fix what I had done to us, then who am I to do otherwise?
I'm so sorry. I must look like a right mess.
I'm here, Em. I'm here now, don't you worry. Come here.
It takes everything I have not to tear up at the sight of her. She reaches out and slips her fingers through mine before pulling me away from the tunnel and towards the mirror. Oh, right. I smashed the mirror when I decided to not be with her. That's right. I forgot. If I don't choose that option, then the mirror is still in one piece. A reflection, a grown woman and a teenager barely past her prime, lends a bizarre light to this whole scene.
I can't imagine how you've been so alone all these years. I left you, Lorraine. I didn't mean to, but that's what I did. I don't even know if you can ever forgive me.
Don't cry. Doesn't suit your pretty face. Besides, I don't have to be alone anymore, do I? You're here for me, aren't you? You'll never leave me again, will you?
My mouth goes dry as she looks at me. That isn't the plan. This isn't closure. Yet her hand in mine makes me believe that this is real. This might be the same. No. It's because it is a different side of things, so I guess it counts as enough of a difference. She's real, and that's all that matters. Nothing else.
Yes, of course. I wouldn't dare leave you.
You swear you won't leave me?
I swear to God, I won't, Lorraine.
Though her smile remains, I can only describe her expression as sad. She walks around until she stands just behind me and wraps her arms around my waist. I nearly crumble with how I am in her arms once more. And when she puts her chin in the crook of my neck and I feel her hot breath on my neck, I'm filled with both joy and grief. The scent of chocolate, almonds, honey, and beer surrounded me. My first taste of love. The love that I denied. It had been so bittersweet.
God's not the only one you're making promises to, Marianne. Swear it to me. Or, even better, prove it to me.
I'll stay forever with you, Lorraine. I swear it to you.
I gotta go watch this again.
How do I even prove it to you?
Simple.
She presses something in my hand. A large glass shard from a wine bottle, cold and sharp. Right.
You join me.
Is she suggesting that I...
Die for me.
Lorraine! That's... How can I?
How can I even do such a thing?
There's no need to be scared. I'll be here for you until the end, Marianne. Even if you hadn't done the same for me. But that's the only way I can forgive you. The only way we can be together again.
Yeah, there he goes. She guides my hand, raising the glass shard. My own hands are weak, as is my will, and I can only bare my neck to do with as she wishes. There is no reason, no self-preservation, as I mindlessly welcome my own death, as if it will lead me to my salvation. I feel nothing at first, other than the glass touching my skin like a caress, until a stinging sensation blooms from my neck. The pain sears and burns like nothing I felt before, and every breath intensifies the feeling. Even if I wanted to cry out and scream, I can only cough as a slick metallic taste coats my tongue. The most I can do beyond that is rasp out, calling for her name.
Lorraine.
Cold and weak, I grow worse by the second. I cough with each ragged breath, expelling the blood that I'm inhaling through my slit throat.
Shush now. It'll be over soon.
And there she goes.
Really soon.
There is a moment of doubt as I remember that the devil was once the most beautiful angel in heaven. That I shouldn't be deceived by such beauty. But in my final moments, all of that is soon forgotten. My mouth twitches. I can't muster even the smallest of smiles anymore. But I'll be with Lorraine. Lorraine, my darling Lorraine. Okay. Ooh! Forward Marianne. I might have got all the notes, maybe? Maybe, possibly. That'd be good. Alright, let's skip ahead. Now it's Becca's turn. And I think the first choice with her is actually something I've never done on any of my runs either. Which is after the movies. Being short with Bella. Because when I was doing my Everybody Hates Each Other run, I had Bella just leave and we didn't go through with the whole movie thing. Let's see.
And during the open house, even if there were a lot of people around, there were weird things happening.
Let's see. No, I did do that. Okay. For some reason, I thought I hadn't. I blocked out the memory, I guess. I don't like being mean to Bella. Bella's my girl. Okay. So things are gonna be, like, fairly calm, probably. Because I think Becca dies the same day or very shortly after Zachary. Okay, get stuff up with Ashton. A wee bit. Try anyway. Gonna be spending most of my time with Ash this round. And... I think I need to shout for help and apologize to Kylie. I don't think I've done that before.
Let me go, you uncouth lout!
I'm gonna try that anyway. If it is something I've done before, then oh well. I tried to do something new. Kylie. There we go.
Mind you, my hand is still smarting.
Okay.
If I end up with rabies from this, we are going to have more than words, woman!
Alright, I bit you. I don't allow Kylie to hear his tirade and cover both of her ears with my hands. Okay. So we unlocked a little bit of a difference there. Let's see. Smack. This one? I think, yeah. Okay, back to even with Bella. We can at least have our friendship the way it was before all this began. Okay. Alright. You're good at handling her. Back to baseline with Luke. That was a big up with him, actually. I guess that shows how much he really likes Becca. Doesn't take much to get a huge chunk with him. After doing a bunch of negative stuff. Okay, we're gonna go hang out with Ashton now. Bye again, Luke. Do you have time? Bravo. And it's so incremental with Ashton. You have to really commit to the whole Becca-Ashton relationship because it's so small. Let's see. I think I'm gonna side with Ash. Okay. And now we're at the party. I get to see everything go down.
He didn't have to lie to me.
Let's see. Okay, we're good. The only relief to be had in this, perhaps, is Zachary's comforting smile when he approaches. Yeah, I guess this is all the same. Only difference is that we went with Ash instead of going by ourselves and seeing Ash there on the whole Hanna death run scene. So that's fine. Oh man, we raced ahead to the whole library thing, didn't we? Becca's was so fast. Let's see. Head upstairs. Okay, I'm probably not going to get anything different here because I didn't get nearly enough affection with Ash. There is supposed to be a different scene there if you get a high enough affection with him. I'll be doing that one of these times, but didn't have enough time to do it today. We got many more death runs to do, so I'm sure it'll happen one of these days. And we're on to the longest chapter. I mean, Luke and Ash have the longest chapters out of anybody. And at least Ash is not going to be alone this time. He's going to have Bella for, well, till the end, hopefully.
It's confidential, Rebecca.
Okay. Not that you care anymore since you're dead and all, but I'm still going to try my darndest. Okay, Bella, you and me. We're a team.
I should have listened.
Slight difference there because we had our fight. Still more. There we go.
How is everything with you lately, Zach?
Okay. Now we're gonna break in. This is all stuff we've seen before. I don't have to turn on my QTE just yet because Bella's here and we did that QTE before. Let's see. Breaking in. Tell me about it. Alright. Have our touching scene where he almost says sweet things and then completely ruins all of it. And nope, not dealing with that elevator nonsense. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh. Thought maybe that was the time. Okay, time to make phone calls to our friends that are both dead. Zach's probably right. Perhaps I've always been afraid there's some damn truth to what Isabella's been saying, knowing I've no clue how to deal with it. And now, after it has stared at me right in the face, I'm at a loss. Scared shitless, in fact.
The fuck do I know about ghosts, though?
What does Zach? What does Rebecca? Okay. In the end, after the third attempt with no one answering, I stop and cut the call with a ragged exhale.
Waiting game it is, then.
Alright. Neither returned his calls. I've been trained for those. Hell, I'm used to them, just not when it comes to people I'm close to. Much as I keep reminding myself to maintain a level head, it's a whole different matter when it's someone you know. Personal feelings will likely get involved at some point. It's starting now, actually, with the anxious strings coiling and uncoiling, causing a racket inside my stomach. It annoys me that all I can do right now is grit my teeth and trudge back to Isabella's apartment. Useless. That's what I am in the face of this. Alright. Okay. A mad dash around Luxburn and Anselm isn't going to help things. It's not like I'll simply stumble across them on the side of the road during a drive. The city's too big a place for one person to go searching for only 2 people. I'll be lucky if I even glimpse the hair of either of them. With one last frustrated glance towards the open skies, I slip back into Isabella's apartment and slam the door behind me. I might have already grown used to this, but the waiting will always be the hardest part. More so when it's the people you care about.
Ash, did you really have to shut it like that?
Sorry. This is not the first time I've seen Isabella like this. Standing casually by her kitchenette, a ladle in hand, keeping an eye on whatever's stewing on the stove while humming a soft tune under her breath. Alright, I don't want to alarm her until I've received an answer from Rebecca or Zach, whichever comes first. Nevertheless, it's clear she has plenty of questions. Okay. I will take
Thank you.
your chocolate porridge. I will need the strength.
Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude.
Does he get the call here instead of at the precinct?
Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City.
All of a sudden, my ringtone breaks the moment, and just as fast, both our attention shifts towards the source. Before things can get awkward fast, I stand up and leave the room while muttering some flimsy excuse to answer the phone.
Sorry, let me just take this call. It's probably Zach or Rebecca.
Really, I know we're in a pinch, but their timing can't get any worse. Sorry, they're dying. It's probably about Zach, actually, being locked up. Unrelated frustrations aside, once I step out of the room and accept the call, the stone that has been stuck in my stomach simultaneously lodges itself up my throat. The person on the other side of the line isn't who I'm expecting.
Right, Eli's right? It's Officer Renz over at the precinct. You know, you bring me donuts to keep an eye out for you and shit.
Oh, yeah, right, Renz. What's up? You've, never called me through this line before. Is this something urgent?
Yeah, kinda. Something came up this morning. You know the big guy? Your, buddy? The bloke Benjamin saw drop by here a few days ago? Big guy. Around 6 feet tall.
Zach?
I don't feel too good about this.
Yeah, him. Zachary Steele, I think.
What about him?
He's been detained and...
Wait, what?
What do you mean he's been detained?
They brought them in this morning.
That's not what I asked. What are...
I don't know.
Oh, sorry, Ash.
I'm not really supposed to be on the phone right now, but I thought you want to know. Anyway, I gotta go. If you want to see him, just drop by. Not sure how that'll work, though. The chief has a standing order not to let you into the precinct until Monday.
Yeah. Thanks for the heads up. I'll bring you some coffee to go with those donuts, too, next time.
The call ends with a click while I'm left here reeling, staring blankly at my phone. It's just my luck that in this exact moment, Isabella chooses to peek out from her apartment.
Was that Zach? Is he gonna drop by?
I have no idea how I look right now, but it must be far from anything pleasant. The curious expression on Isabella's face quickly melts away as soon as she chances a closer glance at me.
What's wrong, Ash?
I'm left with no other choice, then. I tell her exactly as Officer Wrens have said, and the more I spill, the more grim her countenance becomes.
Stay here. I'll go check on him. See what I can do.
No, I'll go with you.
Belle, I'm not going in there for a casual visit. Zach's in trouble and...
I know, but he's not the kind of person who'd do something that'll land him in prison. There must be a mistake.
Believe me, I'm on the same page as you, but...
I want to see him, all right?
And there it is again. That same sharp gleam that has been present in her eyes since yesterday. Little by little, I'm finding it difficult to say no to it. What other choice do I have, too? Still no word on Rebecca. And Zach... Isabella probably doesn't want to be the one who ends up waiting for the news. I know exactly how that feels, so in the end, a nod's the simplest response I can give.
Just let me turn off everything. I'll be out in a few.
Quickly, she disappears behind the door. From inside, the sound of her foot shuffling, a few locks clicking shut, and a television being turned off drifts out the hallway. Her whole business inside takes only a few minutes, and within 5, we're both on our way to LPD. At least we know where Zach is now. That explains why he's not answering his phone. But what the hell did you do, Zach? He said he had a plan that might help, but if it got him into enough trouble to get himself in a cell, I don't think I like that plan of his. And hell yeah, I'm mad. I'm absolutely furious. It's just as Isabella said, I doubt Zach will get himself arrested because of an actual crime. But whatever stupid stunt he pulled to get there isn't any better. The only good thing today, so far, is the fact that the streets are nearly empty so early on a Sunday morning. Very few pedestrians and virtually no other car on the road to get in the way of us rushing to the precinct. Within the speed limit, of course. A whirlwind of activity welcomes us as soon as we waltz into LPD HQ. Fellow officers running here and there, pushing around paperwork and answering calls. It's almost Halloween, and troublemakers are abound. Calls about pranks gone wrong make up most of it this time of the year, along with the occasional altercation or missing dog. Some of the other officers who work with me look up from their desks and wave, though none of them moves to stop us like I'm expecting. Standing order, my ass. It probably didn't last a whole day. Although I'd like to have a chat with them, sooner or later, about official matters, I'm not here for them right now. Of course, it never hurts to see what they have for me, and the best person to ask for details in this precinct is the guy behind the booking window. He glances up at me once when I approach, then immediately returns to his task indifferent. Not that I need his full attention. As long as he talks, I'm good. Next to me, Isabella stands wordlessly, clearly uncomfortable, waiting in anticipation from how close she's sticking to me. But that's probably because she's been in the same position so many times in her life. Her drunkard brother, the eldest, a repeat offender. Mostly minor cases, but she had to be the one to bail him out every time, from what I've gathered. I can't imagine what's going on inside her head now that it has happened to a close friend. Hearing the way these guys talk about him must be worse.
Hey, I heard there's a new guy in the holding cells.
Not many here know Zach, and if they've seen him, they don't pay too much attention. I try to keep my work and personal life as far away from each other as I possibly can. Each one of them is quick to chat, gossip, be the one to talk about the new detainee and have everyone's attention.
News flies fast, huh? They just brought him in this morning.
Any info on him?
Got his ass handed by some rich bloke's bodyguard. Or butler, whatever. When we got to the scene, he's already been strung up and ready for pickup. Hard to imagine how a guy like him could have been taken down. But the butler has this creepy air to him. I'd rather not ask. Feel sorry for the bloke. He could have fought back.
That's because Zach wouldn't hurt a fly.
All said under her breath, but her grip on her bag grows rigid. Unlike me, she's not frustrated at Zach. That ire is directed at the person who put our friend in this predicament. It's true, though. Zach's not that kind of person, and knowing he might be in a bad state, whatever little anger I've built for him on the way here dissolves into thin air.
Has he been booked yet?
No, still sleeping. Creepy butler probably hit him hard.
Which is a good thing. If they slip up and forget, we get him a writ of habeas corpus and take him out of there, depending on what he's actually being charged with. But at the same time, it's bad. How long is he going to be unconscious? I'll be worried about serious injury if he's out cold for too long. Whoever hurt him has a lot of explaining to do. to me.
What's he in for then? Must have been something if we got a rich fat cat involved.
There's been a murder.
A moida? It takes those 4 words to grab my attention, and for all pretense of mingling with co-workers to disappear. Soon, Chief walks up to us, not looking too happy bringing this news.
Another one of those awful ones with writing all across the walls. This time, though, we caught somebody. Your friend, Steele, wasn't it? I do hope you're not involved in any of this fray.
What? Zach wouldn't...
Isabella, I'll handle this.
Ashton, you know Zach wouldn't do something like that.
There must be some sort of confusion here. I really have no idea what you're talking about, Chief.
I really don't. For a second, the thought of him being found dead made my blood run cold. Zach just there, lying on the ground, still and lifeless, no eyeballs. I have to remind myself that he's still alive and in lockup. I can't imagine how Zach can be connected to a murder otherwise. The guy won't even harm anyone, even if his life depends on it.
Picture this, then. In the early hours on the 13th of October, just this morning, a man is woken from his slumber by noise in the next room. With the intent of reprimanding what might be a housekeeper, he stumbles out of his bed and sees not one of his staff, but a trespasser breaking into his home. That already is a bad thing. But imagine seeing that trespasser standing over his bleeding wife. Just think about it. It's not a happy sight.
What? There has to be a mistake. This is Zach we're talking about.
We finally got our perp, but at what price? I still can't believe it turned out to be Steele. I know he's your friend, Frey, but it doesn't look good. The media's already caught wind of these killings. You better believe everyone, the higher-ups, the government, the media, just everyone will want someone going down for those crimes. Unless something definitive proves that he's not guilty of these crimes, well...
People are ignorant. They'll feel better as long as someone is punished.
I know Zach. He wouldn't do such a thing.
You may think that, but it's up to the court to decide whether he's guilty or not. If you're so sure of his innocence, perhaps you'd like to help him get a lawyer. He's going to need a good one.
Shouldn't there be a public defender assigned to him already?
Oh, we tried. We really did. Called every PD in Luxburn, but they kept making up excuses. Conflict of interest, claims they can't represent the defendants effectively. Really, it seems like nobody wants to go against Luke Wright and the prosecution.
Of course it's Luke Wright. Who else can it be? That guy is just everywhere. Has his eggs in every basket and his fingers in every cookie jar. Is there a scheme in Luxburn he doesn't have a hand in? I don't even realize it, in my utter disbelief, that I've slammed my fist down on the table beside me, just shaking. With anger, rage, and even a smidgen of fear. Even Isabella seems taken aback by my own reaction. But knowing what all of this entails, what Zach might be facing... Though there's no capital punishment, being declared guilty of homicide is basically a life sentence, with a 30-year minimum term at the very least. I don't think someone like Wright will be lenient and offer him a plea deal for 25 years. Even if he got parole, well, let's face it, people would only see a murderer. He'll have a hard time getting a job again, for starters, unless he gets acquitted. The fact that he's going against one of the most influential men in the city... He's going to need the best of the best to go against the worst of the worst.
I'm sure defense attorney Anna Davis is up to the challenge. What are the charges?
2 counts of breaking and entering into private property. 3 counts of homicide with the murders of Rose Cooper, Father Norman Lee, and now Hanna Wright.
Shit. He's looking at a fine worth £5,000 and 6 months in jail for each count of breaking and entering. I know Zach doesn't have that kind of dough. Well, that's where I come in. I may be stingy with food and an all-around cheapskate, but that sort of thing doesn't apply when my best friend needs a helping hand. Nice. Good on you, Ash. I can't do much about the jail time, though. But if he's getting pressed with murder charges, that's a whole different story that comes with its own set of problems. The thought of the big guy in jail, framed for something he didn't do. I can't just keep still about it. I can't keep calm.
This is just... bullshit! I know Zach. He's not that kind of guy. Wright, on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if he's involved. And if he is, I swear he...
But I need to keep myself together, for Zach's sake. Especially when the chief has such a grave look on his face. Although I can see it in his eyes that he understands, we both know we're bound by the rules and laws.
Luke Wright will be coming here to give his testimony. I advise that you refrain from any remarks that he might consider slanderous. If Steele really is innocent, we'll find out during the investigation. Of course, you won't be handling this case. And you are not going to be involved in any of it except as a character witness if you wish to volunteer. We're both already in a lot of trouble as it is. It'd be best to behave for now. Is that understood, Frey?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
There is due process to be followed. Hopefully, just maybe, justice will be served rightfully. We'll just have to hope for the best in the investigation. Because people lie, but evidence doesn't. If Zach is really innocent, which I know he is, the evidence will show that. Besides, the burden of proof is on the prosecution. Sometime during our talk, Wright and his right-hand man has already arrived. It's eerie how he seems to be a different man when he walks into the precinct. A heavy air hangs about him and he feels more subdued, contrary to the pompous and arrogant nature he's displayed before. There is a dullness in his eyes as he looks around the office, as if searching and begging for something, someone to appear. The picture of a grieving husband. Yet he still has his head held high despite it all. A look of a broken man who still refuses to bend. A show of pride, if nothing else, even as the person with highest authority in the room approaches him. He makes the chief appear small in comparison.
Mr. Wright, I did hope we'd be meeting again under better circumstances. I just can't believe it had to happen to poor Hanna. You just got a new house and everything too. But, I'm sorry. How are you faring?
I'm just coming to grips with it all, I suppose. It's so very sudden. Must I really give a testimony right now?
The way he speaks, I'm almost inclined to believe him innocent of any wrongdoing. In regards to the death of his wife, at least. He could very well be. The man didn't seem to despise his wife, and those pictures Zach has shown me. The way Chief has described the scene of the crime, similar to the others, according to him. For all I know, they're being haunted by that specter as well.
We'll do this as quick as we can. Otherwise, we don't have reasonable grounds to keep the suspect in custody.
I nearly feel bad for the guy.
Of course, of course. It wouldn't do to let Hanna's murderer get away unpunished. I'll cooperate.
Of course, it doesn't change the fact that he's a bastard.
It's a shame there is no death penalty here. Monsters so capable of murder are lower than animals. And they really should be put down.
Despite myself, in spite of every restraint I've placed on me, upon hearing those words, I can't help but open my mouth. Chief's warning be damned. This is my friend he's fucking shitting on. Well, for Bella's sake, I won't rush him. I'll just call him out again, but she'll be here this time, so this might play out differently.
He's innocent!
Ash, don't!
There she is. I'm torn.
You don't believe he's actually capable of doing such a thing, do you? Someone else is responsible for those murders. And you want to put him down? On what grounds? What proof do you have that he's behind those deaths?
But I'm not going to let Zach go without a fight. Even with Isabella's whispered pleas reaching my ears, while her fingers dig deep through the fabric of my jacket as she tries to hold me back.
I saw him standing over Hanna. My dear Hanna. She didn't deserve death. But there she was. And I tried to wake her. I tried to save her. But she was already gone. Is that not proof enough? Can I not grieve over my wife's death without being questioned?
Hanna Wright is already dead. That doesn't mean Zach has to be the one to pay the price.
Look, I'm not saying what happened to her should be overlooked. I'm telling you that Zach didn't do this. It can't be him. I know it's not him. I swear it isn't. I just need time to prove it isn't him.
Are you saying you know who murdered her?
Yes.
Maybe it's the high intensity of the situation right now. I may be just imagining it, but the way he zones in on me as I say that one word is nerve-wracking. I want to tell him the truth as I know it, to save us all some grief. Of course, the reality of it is, I can't say it's a ghost. They'd take my badge and put me in a damn jacket.
Well, no.
With the way everyone stares at me right now, they're probably considering it already. This guy is a nutter, going against Luke Wright in the open like that. In fact, I'm already preparing myself for the shitstorm that might come about my outburst. Yet instead...
I understand you're just concerned for the well-being of your friend. But unless you have concrete proof that there's another culprit in these murders, you are simply a man-child throwing a tantrum. If I were you, I'd pipe down and show some dignity befitting someone holding a badge.
I've expected more. A grand threat about how I should watch my back. But he just has this somber look about him. That did nothing to quell the burning feeling inside me. I'm still angry. So very, very angry. An LPD officer informed Ashton of Zachary's detention. Immediately, he rushed to the precinct with Isabella, where they met Luke Wright, there to file the charges against Zach. But before the detective could confront him, his fellow officer stopped him. Isabella, however, threw a cup of water in his face? Spoilers. My frustration about it all must have shown, because only now do I realize that aside from Isabella, the other officers have also jumped in to hold me back all this time. They don't even let go of me, not until I've put a good distance away between me and Scumbag. And it's awkward, going on from there. The precinct is quiet, though the usual hustle and bustle of activities stayed. Everybody is making a concerted effort to shut their mouths about the whole scene. I wish they made the same effort to keep themselves from staring at me, though. They all want to talk about what just happened. But at the same time, they don't want to acknowledge that it did happen, and refuse to even make eye contact with me. All of it changes in the next second, though. It doesn't even register to me until it has already occurred. Before I have the chance to leave, ready to march out the precinct, still angry and frustrated, all of a sudden, Isabella, who has been standing close to me not a second ago, grabs a half-full glass of water off one of the officers' tables and dumps the entirety of its content on Scumbag. And the expression on her? It's nothing short of seething.
You bloody...
Damn, girl.
It's been a pleasure doing business with you, sir.
Afterwards, she slams the drinking glass down on the table with a loud thud. With the whole precinct this still, the sound it creates echoes thickly along the walls, almost deafening. In the face of her temper, nobody dares move. But she doesn't give me time to relish the disbelief in Wright's face. She marches towards me soon after, and before I can even say anything, she grabs me by the wrist and drags me out of the precinct. Honestly, I've never seen something so satisfying in my life. I might as well be grinning from ear to ear if I weren't feeling so pissed at a lot of things right now. Still would have loved to sock the bastard myself.